I just spent 13 nights aboard the Disney Dream. I took a transatlantic cruise from Miami to Barcelona. This was a solo cruise, my 7th time cruising with Disney, but my first time on the Disney Dream. Today I'm going to give you an honest ship review. We're going to look at activities and food, entertainment, all of the things that make up the cruising experience aboard the Disney Dream. So, let's get started. The Disney Dream first sailed in 2011. It is 130,000 gross tons and can hold a maximum of 4,000 passengers. It is 1,115 feet long and 216 feet high. One of the more striking features of the Disney Dream is the aqueduct. This is a tube ride where you get in a little raft, you go around the perimeter of the pool deck and out over the ocean. I'm going to divide my review into the following categories. We're going to look at the ship itself, the food, the activities offered, the entertainment, and the overall cruising experience aboard the Disney Dream. Let's begin with the ship itself. Now, the ship was refurbished 3 years ago. I will say that it was a beautiful ship. It looked brand new, very well cared for. Lovely design, pockets of just amazing lounges and bars. What I really loved about this ship was the unique theming in each little place you found. The candy shop, the champagne bar, the skyline bar. Lots of great things to love about this ship. Now, having said that, I will say right off the bat, this ship did not have the same charm for me as the Disney Wonder or the Disney Magic, which I have sailed on multiple times. Not sure why I felt that way. We'll get more into that later. Having said all of that, this is an amazing ship with a lot to offer. Let's take a quick look now at all of the venues and different things there are to use and enjoy around the Disney Dream. Let's start with the pool deck, because the pool deck is always very important to me on a cruise ship. I spend a lot of my time up here, and on a 13-night transatlantic, I definitely spent quite a bit of time at the pool. On Disney ships especially, I enjoy the pool because they show Disney movies all day long on the funnel vision, which I very much enjoy. Now, this was a wonderful pool deck. They had a huge family pool. They had the movie screen right next to it with outdoor movies all day long. All of them, of course, are Disney movies. They do have an adults-only pool as well. This was gorgeous, beautiful, quiet, elegant. They had an adults-only hot tub as well. Now, I will say that on all of the Disney ships I've been on, the adult pool area does get very crowded and very packed in, and it's not always possible to just come to the pool in the middle of the day and find a lounger. You may have to pick a lounger somewhere kind of far away and walk back and forth to the pool. One area that I especially enjoyed was the deck above the pool deck. They had a family zone here with this beautiful fountain kind of pool where you could sit and put your feet in it. You could also sit in it if you like. It was a shallow pool. Lots and lots of loungers up here. If you weren't invested in sitting right next to the main pool, you could come up here, find a beautiful lounger, and just enjoy the scenery. This was a really nice place. Once in a while, they had live music up here. An overlooked area that was never crowded, and especially beautiful. Now let's take a quick look at some of the bars and lounges available. One of the things I really appreciated was the variety of bars and lounges available, and they each had a different theme. For example, look at Skyliner. This was like being in Manhattan in the middle of the night. Just beautiful. Meridian had views of the ocean, very classy. And the pink champagne bar was just adorable, very vintage, very unique and fresh, a wonderful place to go, get a drink, and just listen to some live piano music. The Disney Lounge was heavily used throughout the cruise. This is kind of the main hub for most daytime activities, such as trivia or drawing classes. There was a wonderful movie theater on board. Lots of seating here, very comfortable and quiet. They showed different Disney films throughout the cruise, and a lot of them were very new releases that were still in theaters. As far as cabins, I was very happy with my cabin. I had a guaranteed interior room. Comfortable, clean, quiet. The air conditioning worked wonderfully. The bed was comfortable. And I really enjoyed this magic porthole. You could turn this on or off depending on what mood you were in, but I had mine on most of the time, and about every 15 or 20 minutes, some animated something would happen inside this porthole. A character would fly by, like Aladdin would fly by on the magic carpet, or a character might peek into the window, or you might suddenly have fireworks in the window. This just added some fun to the room and some dimension. Now, they did have some nice shopping available aboard the Disney Dream. Of course, this is going to be almost all Disney merchandise, but they had a lot of it. They had plenty of toys and games for the kids. They had a lot of clothing. They had purses, high-end jewelry, all of the classic Disney items you might see in a park, and a lot of the basic kind of souvenirs you might want to take home with you. I did feel on the Disney Dream that crowding was a little bit of an issue. I'm not sure why, but it seemed that most places you went, there was just a crush. Stairwells were usually crowded. You had to wait for an elevator pretty much every time. Everybody, of course, went in and out of the theater at the same time, so that was always just a big stampede once they opened the doors to get in the theater, and we all left the theater at the same time. And just in general, other than the pool deck, there was an issue with crowding, finding a chair, walking down the hallways without squeezing past people. I did not really experience this on the Wonder or the Magic, but I did experience it on the Dream. So wrapping up my overall ship part of the review, I have to give the Disney Dream an 8 out of 10. It was a beautiful ship. Not my favorite ship, but there's no denying this is a beautiful ship with so much to offer. Wonderful places carved out for rest, relaxation, entertainment, live music. The ship is beautifully cared for. Everything looked brand new. So, for the overall ship, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Now let's move on to the food. Now let me just say, when I began cruising Disney 10, 15 years ago, the food was outstanding. I don't know if the cruise industry has changed, if Disney has changed, or if I have changed, but the food was a bit of a disappointment on the Disney Dream. But let's start by looking at all of the options. Now for breakfast and lunch for complimentary dining, you're going to be looking at Cabana's Buffet. They had a lot of choices here. They had some unique Disney choices such as Mickey waffles. Plenty of variety here. The food was okay, not great, not memorable, but okay. Some very small, snacky kind of items at Cove Cafe or Vista Lounge. Room service is available, and as of right now, room service is still complimentary on Disney. And then you had some poolside dining. Poolside dining included Flo's Cafe, Fillmore's Favorites, and Tomater's Grill. Here you would find fresh-made pizzas, pre-made sandwiches and wraps and salads, and you could order dogs, hamburgers. They had Impossible Burgers and plant-based hot dogs here as well. I thought the quality of the food here was good. Even the pre-made stuff felt pretty fresh. The fruit was delicious. It was convenient. There was always a line, but it moved fairly quickly. I especially enjoyed ordering Impossible Burgers here because they always made those to order. Now, as far as coffee places, they had two that were especially nice. The Cove Cafe is just wonderful. Such a scenic, relaxing place. This is attached to the adults-only pool area. You do have to pay for specialty coffees, but look at the artwork in the lattes. So much fun to go get a coffee and see who shows up on top. Vista Cafe was the other coffee spot I enjoyed. It's on deck 4 overlooking the atrium. Delicious coffee here, delicious specialty coffees and tea. You can get a coffee here, overlook the atrium, maybe watch a princess party. The three main dining rooms are Animator's Palette, Royal Palace, and Enchanted Garden. This is Animator's Palette. It is my favorite dining room of all. You'll notice it's based on the art of animation. The chairs look like Mickey Mouse pants. The waiters are wearing white shirts with black sketches on them from different animated movies. The best part of this dining room is the slideshow that goes on screens around the dining room showing storyboard art, concept art, animation sketches, all different movies, every movie Disney ever made. If they have artwork, you're going to see a little bit of it during the evening. One night, Crush the Turtle comes out and talks to you, and he really talks to you. It's not pre-recorded. Although this has always been one of my favorite dining rooms on Disney ships, I found the food here to be lacking. It was never all that good. It seemed to take forever to get to our table. I feel bad saying that because I've always had outstanding service on Disney ships. I did feel that the staff was a little overwhelmed on the Disney Dream, and our food usually arrived kind of late, kind of cold. Food was just so-so in all three of the dining rooms. Having said that, I will finish walking you through the other two dining rooms because they are beautiful. The Enchanted Garden is beautiful. It's inspired by the gardens of Versailles. It's a market-style menu. Gorgeous dining room. The lights are glass flowers. There's a 7-foot-tall fountain in the middle with a stone Mickey. During the course of the meal, the lights change. The atmosphere goes from blue to sort of a gold-red setting sun kind of motif, and the flower lights bloom. As far as food choices here, you will find things like glazed portobello mushrooms, caramelized sea scallops, prime rib, roasted chicken, lobster ravioli, a cucumber garden roll, specialty things like an espresso martini, orange almond cake, or warm sticky date pudding. The Royal Palace was popular. Not only was it part of dining for dinner, but it was open for breakfast and lunch as well. Menu items here include salmon royale, steak, chicken, and duck, wild mushroom stuffed pasta, rack of lamb, iced lobster, escargot, a Grand Mariner souffle, and strawberry shortcake, just to name a few. Now, as far as upscale specialty dining that you had to pay a fee for, you had the choices of Remy or Palo. Remy is French-themed, and Palo is Northern Italian-themed. Both of these restaurants are adults only. I did not visit either of these restaurants, so I can't comment. I do know if you would like to visit these restaurants on your cruise, it's best to make reservations far ahead of your actual cruise. Having shown you all of the food options available, let me just wrap up my food review here. I'm going to give the food on the Disney Dream a 7 out of 10. Nothing wrong with the food at all, just not very memorable food. Nothing I especially looked forward to, nothing I would want to revisit. And now let's move on to the entertainment. And let me just say that the entertainment is one of the main reasons I like to cruise Disney. I look forward to these Broadway-style shows so much. I never miss one. Sometimes I skip dinner so I can go twice. These shows are always outstanding. The shows on the Disney Dream were Beauty and the Beast, The Golden Mickeys, and Disney's Believe. The last two shows were compilations of favorite Disney songs from different Disney movies, full of song and dance and fabulous costumes and all kinds of amazing entertainment. These shows did not disappoint. They were wonderful. The whole audience was singing along. Really enchanting, and if you are a Disney fan, you will love these. As far as other entertainment offered, we had quite a few deck parties. We had a sail-away party, and we had several dance parties up on deck with costumed characters where everybody was invited to join in. And one of the biggest events on a Disney ship of all is Pirate Night. This is not only an elaborate deck party with characters in pirate costumes singing and dancing and inviting everyone to join in, but there's also fireworks at sea. This is an amazing experience. Lots of fun. It's really special to be in the middle of the ocean watching fireworks taking place just off the ship. And these are terrific fireworks. This is not some small little fireworks show. It is a full-blown show. Wonderful. And to top it off, Captain Jack Sparrow made an appearance. There was also constant stream of live music throughout the day and into the evening. This live music was sometimes in the atrium, sometimes down in the district or in Evolution. Lots of different choices for live music throughout the whole cruise. Another part of the entertainment that's integral to every Disney ship is interacting with the costumed characters. They appear every day, all day long, and their times are listed in the app, so you always know where to go to meet your favorite character. You're probably going to have to wait in line for a photo, maybe a long line, and they only stay 15 to 20 minutes at a time. But they appear all day long on a rotating basis. And during a cruise, they will change costumes throughout the week, which is always great fun. Every single performer on the ship was amazingly talented. Everything was professional, wonderful, so fascinating. I enjoyed every minute of the entertainment on the Disney Dream, and for that reason, I'm going to give the entertainment a 10 out of 10. That brings us to activities, and there were a lot of activities to choose from on the Disney Dream. Now, I will say that even though there's a lot of activities to choose from, I did feel that some of the activities became repetitive very quickly. They had trivia every day. We were on a 2-week Transatlantic cruise, and I did feel that they had about 1 week's worth of trivia to offer, and everything got repeated the second week. Aside from trivia, there are game shows, different kinds of game shows that encourage families to get involved or couples. For a fee, you could go to alcohol tastings such as bourbon or champagne. We had a cooking demonstration, very popular. If you didn't get there early, you were not going to get a seat. You might not even get into the room. There was a spa on board. I consider a spa an activity. This was a very nice spa. I went twice. I enjoyed it very much. The rainforest room is lovely. Up on deck 13, there was a whole sports zone which offered a lot of activities. There was a 9-hole miniature golf course here. There was also a walking, running trail around the deck of the whole ship down on deck 4. This gave you great views of the ocean while you walked or ran. They also had a fitness center, which was just lovely. They had some dance lessons. Now, although there were a lot of activities to choose from, I did feel overall that something was missing, that there wasn't quite enough activities to satisfy me personally. Some of the activities were movies that were shown throughout the day. Most of the movies being shown did not really appeal to me, even though I'm a Disney fan. So I did find myself, because it was a 13-day cruise, often being somewhat bored, a little bit tired of the same old activities, and looking around for something else to do. Now, that's a personal preference, of course. There is something here for everybody. There's plenty here for just adults. There is plenty here for families. This would be especially fine on a 3-night cruise, a 4-night cruise, or a week. But as I said, for a 13-night cruise, I did feel the options wore a little bit thin. So for my score on activities on the Disney Dream, I'm going to give them a 7 out of 10. And that brings us to the last part of the review, the overall cruising experience. Now, before I get too far into this part of the review, I do want to be upfront and let you know that I did contract norovirus on this cruise. It happened during the final 4 days of the cruise. I came down with the illness the night we left Lisbon. I've never been that sick in my whole life, and it was truly awful. Now, it may sound funny, but I'm going to try to put that to the side and not let that affect my review of the overall cruising experience aboard the Disney Dream. And that is because I feel like you could pick up norovirus anywhere. I don't feel it's a reflection on the ship itself or the cleanliness of the ship. I just feel like it's a risk you take anytime you cruise, and it could happen to anybody on any ship. So, putting aside the norovirus, what was my thought on the overall cruising experience of the Dream? I'm not sure what it was, but from day one, I did not really connect to the Disney Dream. I was looking for that Disney magic that I love. It never really happened for me like it did on the Disney Wonder and the Disney Magic. I do think the size of the ship and the amount of people on board had something to do with that. I was used to a smaller experience, fewer crowds. As I mentioned, this ship always felt congested. You could not go to the railing at the last minute and look down into the atrium at a dance party. It was not necessarily possible to find a lounge at the adults-only pool in the middle of the day. Every time we went to a show, when they opened the doors, there was a stampede for people who wanted to grab that front row. Rotational dining means everybody shows up for dinner at the same time, and mostly we all leave around the same time. I've come to expect excellent service on Disney ships, and while I felt all of the staff was just wonderful, I also felt that the staff was stretched way too thin. Our dining staff worked as hard as they could. They were never still. They were busy every minute. Just the same, our food tended to take a long time to come out. Sometimes it was cold, and it just seemed to take a long time to get to us for every single thing. That's not a big deal, but it's something I noticed, that the ship felt a little understaffed. So it's entirely possible that my judgment is clouded between being a little disappointed in what I was expecting and also getting very sick. However, with that being said, I'm going to give the overall cruising experience on the Disney Dream a 7 out of 10. Have you cruised the Disney Dream? I would love to hear all about your experience. If you have a comment you'd like to share, please share it here. If you have some advice for your fellow traveler who is about to set sail on the Disney Dream, please leave a comment below. I have another video out on my channel already, which is a complete recap of my 13-night transatlantic on the Disney Dream. If you'd like to check that out, please do, and please leave a comment. Please consider subscribing and please hit the like button. It would help my channel grow. That wraps up everything I have to say on my review of the Disney Dream. The Disney Dream is a one and done for me, but I will be cruising with Disney again. I love the magic, I love the wonder. I still want to try out the Disney Fantasy, and I'm looking forward to the Disney Treasure. Thank you so much for stopping by. I hope this review was helpful, and enjoy your next cruise.